Well, let's talk more on the impact of the sanctions on Niger following the coup there on the border communities, as we bring in State House correspondent Femi Akande on this. Femi, you have, again, I always talk about how much you have reported on this, and you have actually done that. But you have talked about the haulage business. You have also talked about the cattle business. Talk to us more on here and there, the kind of businesses that have been impacted by these particular sanctions and how bad it is.
Yes, Precious. Virtually every business on that Trans-Sahara border between Niger and Nigeria have been affected, greatly impacted by the sanctions imposed by ECOWAS. But it's not only on the Nigerian border side, also on the border with Benin Republic. Niger also shares border with Benin Republic, Mali, Burkina Faso, Algeria, and Libya. But for Libya and Algeria, they are not members of ECOWAS. Burkina Faso and Mali also have military coups, and they are in support of the military coup leaders in Niger Republic. So only Nigeria Republic now are left to enforce ECOWAS sanctions on Niger Republic. And these are the most important border countries to Niger Republic because they depend heavily on the trade between their borders with Nigeria and Benin Republic. Now that all of that has been cut off in compliance with the sanctions imposed by ECOWAS, it's biting really hard on the country. The military coup leaders will not admit it, but they know that the population is really feeling the brunt of all of these sanctions. Well, they are still trying to hold out. We do not know how long they'll hold out, but they are gradually opening up to talk to some emissaries coming into Niger Republic to look for an amicable resolution to this current standoff and ensure that, well, maybe there is a political solution that will make ECOWAS lift sanctions. Precious.
And as we look forward to the ECOWAS meeting tomorrow, what should we expect?
Well, we know that ECOWAS has also rolled out some fresh sanctions, which is freezing the assets of individuals and entities that have ties with Niger Republic. We also believe that that will be ratified by the authorities of heads of state and government at tomorrow's emergency summit of ECOWAS. We do not know if fresh sanctions will be slapped on the landlocked West Africa country or if ECOWAS will ease some of these sanctions, especially to allow food items get to the people of Niger Republic. Niger ranked 7th in the global poverty index. A lot of the country's population are poor, and cutting off our food supply will have a serious impact in the country. We do not know if ECOWAS will put all of that into consideration and ensure that maybe food is allowed to pass into the country to at least get to the very poor and vulnerable in the country. But we'll wait tomorrow to see what ECOWAS' next line of action will be. Precious.
And we've seen how the presidency has had to clarify the fact that, look, this is not an action of the Nigerian government, but that of the ECOWAS. You've also talked about misinformation in the border communities. Talk to us about some of the information, that trickled in, things that people are talking about in those border communities.
Well, in the border communities, they are also particularly concerned about these sanctions. They initially heard that there's an option of the use of force if the military coup leaders refuse to hand over power and reinstate the democratically elected government of Mohamed Bazoum. All they are asking for is that military option should be dropped because they know the impact that there will be a huge influx of refugees, of displaced persons from the Niger Republic through the border community and also into Nigeria. They also know the security implication of this. These borders are very porous, and Niger and Nigeria have been doing so much to push out the insurgents and some criminals and bandits that operate around that area. They know that if a military option is considered and indeed boots are put on the ground in Niger Republic, those military people at the border post will be more occupied with defending their country, especially in the capital, than fighting against threats of terrorists and other criminals around this area. But you know, all of this is beginning to fall in place. They are beginning to hear that, well, most likely that option might not be considered, and a political or diplomatic solution may just be the way to go. Precious.
And we'll hear all of that from ECOWAS after their meeting tomorrow. Thank you so much for your update, Femi, our correspondent.